Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Bucknuts Morning 5 on Wednesday, January 7th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I am joined by none other than Duane Long. And Duane, so many topics. I want to first get into a couple guys that a lot of people have wondered, or three guys actually, that fans have wondered, might they leave early for the NFL? That's something Ohio State deals with every year, as we know. Let's start with Taylor Decker. I had a chance to ask him yesterday. Ohio State had a media day of sorts yesterday, and I asked him if there's any chance that he's going to leave early, and he said absolutely not. And there was a published report out there from an obscure website, and he shot that down and said he didn't even apply for his paperwork with the NFL to see where he was graded. So I believe Taylor Decker. I think that's an easy one. But it was good to see him shoot it down, because if he would have given the answer, non-answer, where I'm coming back, but we'll have to see after the season or whatever, then speculation would have been rampant when you have this report out there. But he completely shot it down. He said, yes, I've heard about these reports, but I'm definitely coming back. So good news there, Duane. The offensive line is dear to your heart.
This kid is making the right decision. He is, and he would get drafted, maybe third, fourth round, maybe. If he sticks around, he's at least a second rounder. He needs another year starting at left tackle. It's different, Dave. Left and right at the tackle position, it's not so much inside, but left and right as tackles, it's different. You do everything with a different hand. You step differently. He needs more time. He had a really good year. Wouldn't call it a great year. He had a really good year. He just needs another year of seasoning, and if he does that, he's really going to make himself into a better pro. Forget about the thing of, so much of the mystique about going early has worn off because of the rookie salary cap. It's just not what it was. You're not making as much money. There's just less reason to go. So this kid's sticking around. He's going to make more money over the long term because he's going to be better prepared. So very smart move, and it's something the Buckeyes need, so it's a win-win all the way around there.
Another guy that I asked about this yesterday, I hated to even bring this up, but so many people wanted the answers to these questions. I think these guys are able to multitask and focus on the fact that they have a big game against Oregon, and that's an understatement coming up in 5 days. They can focus on the national championship game and talk about what's going to happen after that. And Cardale Jones is another guy, Duane, that a lot of people have wondered about, that if he plays well again and if Ohio State wins the national championship, Cardale Jones could go pro. He's a third-year sophomore. Really, I like to call him a fourth-year sophomore. Cardale Jones, I asked him, and he said he's definitely coming back. He left maybe a little bit more room open than Taylor Decker did, even though he said he's definitely coming back. Then he said a few other things which makes you think, well, maybe he is in the back of his mind, because he said, I'm all focused on this right now. And but he did say the first thing out of his mouth was, I'm definitely coming back next year. First of all, do you buy that? And second of all, if you do buy that, obviously that's huge. It would be Cardale and JT. I don't think Braxton's coming back, but just, are you buying that Cardale's definitely coming back if he plays well and the Buckeyes win the national championship?
Hell no. It makes somebody is going to be sitting next year who shouldn't be sitting.
Right.
Dave, come on. That's one of those don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining things. Somebody who is proven.
What's going to happen?
I think that if he leads us to a championship, so what? Barrett's going to sit next year? Who's going to sit?
Right.
And why would they?
I know.
So I think that if he's saying that, I think he's talking from the heart, or he's being very intelligent about this, one or the other. He just in the conversation, go out and play this game, win a national championship, and be part of why the Buckeyes won the national championship and then go back to the bench? Come on, man. That doesn't make any damn sense.
You're right. That would never happen. Neither one of those guys are going back to the bench. That's not a scenario. Though I guess the only way, and I'm not buying this, I think it has to be just one of them, but is there any possible way Urban could sell these guys on the platoon? Come back, compete for the job. I promise both you guys will play, meaning JT and Cardale. We'll get to Braxton in a minute. I've been on record. I don't think Braxton's coming back. We'll get your thoughts in a minute. But let's focus on JT and Cardale. Is there any way Urban, the psychology degree, can convince these guys, hey, you're both going to play, we'll be the first team in history to do a two-quarterback system, and not just mixing Tim Tebow in there as basically like a fullback who occasionally throws a jump pass, but a real two QB system. We're going to do it right. Both you guys are going to play. Any chance he could sell that to him, you think?
I don't think he can, because somebody knows that here's what you have to worry about. If I'm advising one of those kids, I'm saying if somebody starts to play well, he's going to keep playing them. If someone's out playing one guy, he's going to keep playing that guy. You just can't really there's no guarantee that that's actually going to happen, that you're actually going to see as many reps as the other guy. And still, you're getting half the starters reps. That's not good enough. I just don't see this happening. It's not making sense. That both of these guys who and look at what Cardale Jones will have accomplished if he is the quarterback of you start 3 games, you win the Big Ten championship, you beat the number 1 team in the country, and you're the quarterback under center when your team wins a national championship. I mean, but you're going back to the bench. I just don't think that's going to happen. And Barrett, why would even, it's just not making any sense to me. It's really not.
I'm with you. I mean, it just as you illustrated, Cardale's not just coming in and playing well. He's not just coming in and playing well for 3 games. He's doing it in the Big Ten championship game where they just wipe Wisconsin off the face of the earth, 59-0, where Ohio State was actually an underdog in that game, and then they get the SEC monkey off their back in a bowl game, and they do it by beating the bully of the SEC, of the nation in Alabama, in SEC country, and not just a bowl game, but in the first ever college football playoff. So it's just, and then for him to do that and play well, and then if he wins the national championship game, it would just be a staggering 3-game run. So I think, there's a legitimate chance that he could turn pro. It's so intriguing. Hopefully Ohio State wins the national championship game, and we'll get that. We're going to get down to your thoughts on that game in just a second. But as promised, real quick, give me like 30 seconds. I've given my opinion. Real quick, Braxton Miller, is there any chance he's coming back to Ohio State as a 5th-year senior?
Not as a quarterback. There's no way. There's no way he's going to come back and win a battle with those 2 guys, considering he's the 3rd best passer in a 3-man. It's 3 guys, and you're the worst passer. It's just not going to happen. I'm not certain that the kid can throw the ball. I just don't nobody's really saying, oh, yeah, no problem, he'll be all right. I'm not hearing anybody say that. I'm hearing more people say, I don't see this happening at all. He's going to come back and out-throw these guys and win the job back. I just don't see that happening. I don't think he comes back as a 5th-year senior at Ohio State as a quarterback. No, I don't. I don't believe that's going to happen.
Oregon thoughts. You've been requested on the show for all of your wisdom, Duane, but people really want to hear your unabashed thoughts about the national championship game. You called it. Kudos to you. I said Ohio State had a chance. I thought they'd play well. It'd be a good game, but I did pick. I hate to admit this, but I picked Alabama by a field goal. I said Ohio State had a puncher's chance. Well, you didn't do any of that pussyfooting around. You picked Ohio State to win, and you were right. So kudos to you, sir. So fire up Buckeye Nation. I know you're not going to blow smoke up anybody's ass. You're going to be honest, but I'm curious to get your take on this game. Ohio State, 6.5-point underdogs. I love them in the underdog role, Duane. This spread opened at 7.5 with Oregon being the favorite, then moved to 7, now moving to 6.5. The money's going the way of the Buckeyes. Forget about the spread, though. Who's going to win this game, Duane, and why?
Ohio State's going to win this football game, and like the same way we did a couple of years ago when we played the same team. What do? We physically kick their asses. That's what's going to happen. Then they played Oregon played Auburn in the Rose Bowl. What happened? They got their asses physically kicked. Herb Streets were talking about that no one could say that Oregon's not physical. Yes, I'm going to say they're not physical. They're not ready for what the hell is getting ready to happen to them. Up front, they ran into a defensive line that shut them down a few years ago against Ohio State. This is a better defensive line. We're going to stand up on the line of scrimmage, and we're going to kick their asses like we did the last time. I don't know why this is going to be any different. I thought that the defense on the team we played before, what year was that? I thought that was a better defense Oregon had. Ohio State
2009. It was 5 years. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. Yeah, 2009. Go ahead, sir.
It's the same thing. We're seeing the same thing. These Pac-12 teams, they don't play against any decent defenses, and Ohio State's defense has gotten better as the years rolled on. It's gotten better. What Ohio State did to Amari Cooper in particular, that's incredible. What they did to that kid. They shut him out of the game. He didn't have any kind of real impact on that football game. Ohio State is getting better as the season rolls along defensively, and Oregon, they just haven't faced a defense that can really stand up and just physically whip them, and Ohio State can. And I don't see where their defense is that great that they're going to keep Ohio State from scoring. Alabama couldn't keep Ohio State from scoring, and Alabama was the best defense I saw this year. I didn't see any really great defenses this year. Alabama's was the best, and we rolled up 42 points on them. So I'm not really concerned about scoring points against Oregon. It really comes down to our defense against their offense, and I think we're going to physically whip that ass.
I am picking Ohio State to win too. Maybe I should pick against them. Of course, I picked Ohio State to beat Wisconsin when they were the underdog then, so it's not like I've been picking against the Buckeyes. I did pick against them against Alabama, which I hate myself for that, but that's all right. I love to be wrong there. I'm picking Ohio State to win too. I think I might pick a closer game than you are, but I don't think it's going to be like super close, like field goal or less. I like Ohio State by a touchdown in this game, maybe 10 points. I don't think they're going to blow out Oregon. Because I do have a lot of respect for Oregon's offense. And one thing we have to keep in mind is Ohio State's faced some real shaky quarterbacks the last two games, Stave and Blake Sims. I mean, I think Blake Sims better than Stave, of course, but both those guys, are just light years away from Mariota. But I think Mariota has some, he's got some weaknesses. So definitely going to be a test for this Ohio State defense. There's no question about that. Toughest test of the season, no doubt about that. But Oregon's defense, 84th in the country in total defense. I know they're much better than that scoring defense, but they give up yards in bunches. I like Ohio State to win this game. You like Ohio State to win this game. Are you predicting a blowout, Duane, or do you like? Talk to me here.
I'm going to say a sound
how
win.
Ohio State going to win?
I think we're going to see a sound win. You said better than people think, and I would field goals 3-10 or 7-10. I think it's absolutely going to be at least 7-10. I think we're going to score points. I think they're not going to score like they have been against everybody else. I don't see it. I'm going to be really surprised if Oregon runs up and down the field like they have been. Florida State, you can't even look at that defense. That defense has been giving up touchdowns. How many games did Florida State have to come from behind to win? Because their defense gave up points and yards. Ohio State's just not going to do that. And like I said, we're getting better every game. And I don't think they're going to stand up on the line of scrimmage and just whip us. I just don't. I think it's going to be the other way around. I think we're going to make Mariota do things that he doesn't want to do. I think we're going to get in his face more than anybody else has. I think we're going to win this football game, and I think we're going to really shock people by how soundly we win. We're not going to blow them out. I agree with you. Mariota's too good. I just don't see a blowout. But I think we're going to win this more soundly than people think we are.
Great stuff out of Duane Long. You can see why everybody requests your presence, my friend. Real quick, a couple of notes. Ohio State with a big win in basketball last night. Looked like they were going to blow it. They had a big lead at halftime. They were playing at Minnesota, third Big Ten game of the season. Ohio State won 74-72 in overtime. At halftime, they're winning 41-29. At that point, D'Angelo Russell is putting on a show. Looked like he was going to have like a career night, one of those we're going to be talking about for years. 25 points at halftime. But it wasn't just that. He was 10 for 12 shooting, made all 5 of his three-point attempts, and it looks like this guy is going to get at least 40 points. Probably you're thinking he's not going to double that and get 50, but then he goes scoreless in the second half. The game goes to overtime. He did get 2 free throws in the overtime session. The Buckeyes won 74-72. Mark Loving with a nice runner with 5.6 seconds left for the game winner. So Mark Loving with a nice game, 13 points for the Buckeyes, 7 rebounds. So the Buckeyes escaped. They're 13-3 now, 2-1 in the Big Ten. They will next play at Indiana this Saturday at noon. That's always, to me, that's the big rivalry for Ohio State. So at the Hoosiers this Saturday at noon, that's the next Ohio State basketball game. And then one more thing, we have a great deal on Bucknuts right now. If you're not a subscriber, if you buy 1 month at $9.95, you get 2 months free. So buy 1 month, get 2 months free. It takes you, of course, through the national championship game. That, of course, takes you through National Signing Day and even takes you well into spring ball. So try our buy 1 month, get 2 free deal. Thanks again to the man, Duane Long. Thank you to all the listeners out there. Take it away, best damn band in the land.